Most people believe poverty is about money. They believe if they just earned more, if they just found a better job, if they just got one big opportunity, everything would finally change. But here's the truth most people never hear. Poverty does not begin in the wallet. It begins in the mind, because there are people who earn very little, yet somehow build wealth. And there are people who earn a lot, yet live paycheck to paycheck their entire lives. So clearly, income alone is not the answer. You can work harder. You can wake up earlier. You can sacrifice weekends and still feel like money slips through your fingers. Not because you're lazy, not because you're incapable, but because no one ever taught you how money actually works. Think about this for a moment. From childhood, we were taught how to read, how to write, how to pass exams, how to follow instructions, but we were never taught how to manage money, how to budget correctly, how to plan financially, how to build wealth, how to develop a healthy money mindset. So we grow up believing a dangerous lie. That hard work alone is enough. But hard work without direction doesn't create wealth. It creates exhaustion. And exhaustion is one of the most common symptoms of poverty thinking. Here's something uncomfortable, but necessary. Most people don't have a money problem. They have a money management problem. They don't lack income. They lack financial education. They don't lack effort. They lack financial literacy. And until those gaps are filled, more money will not save them. It will only magnify their mistakes. Let me ask you something important. Have you ever noticed how some people earn more, but stress more, make more, but save less, spend more, but feel poorer? That's not bad luck. That's a broken money mindset. Because money does not change who you are. It reveals who you are. If you don't know how to manage $1,000, you won't manage $10,000. If you don't respect $100, you won't respect $100,000. Wealth does not start with money. It starts with thinking. This is why personal development is inseparable from personal finance. You cannot build a wealthy future with a poverty mindset. You cannot create financial freedom while repeating the same financial habits. And you cannot reach prosperity without a mindset shift. That shift is what this video is about. Today, we are not talking about quick money. We are not talking about shortcuts. We are not talking about overnight success. We are talking about mastering money management, developing a wealth mindset, learning financial education that schools never taught, building a future where money works for you. This is about moving from poverty to prosperity, step by step, intentionally, and permanently. If you've ever felt like you're working hard but going nowhere, you earn money but don't feel secure, you want more control over your financial life, then stay with me. Because once you understand how money actually works, once your mindset changes, once your habits shift, your financial future will never be the same again. Now, let's talk about the biggest lie most of us were taught about money. The lie sounds simple, innocent even. It says, go to school, get good grades, get a good job, and everything will work out. For generations, people followed this path faithfully. And yet, more people than ever are stressed about money. More people than ever live paycheck to paycheck. More people than ever feel trapped. So the question becomes, if this formula truly worked, why are so many hardworking people still struggling? Because the system taught us how to earn money, but never taught us how to manage money. And earning without managing is how poverty survives. We were trained to focus on income, but wealth is not built on income alone. We were taught to chase raises, but never taught to control spending. We were taught to work harder, but never taught financial planning. So people grow up believing, if I just make more money, I'll be fine. But here's the truth. More money without financial literacy doesn't solve problems. It creates bigger ones. This is why you see people who earn 6 figures, but are broke high salaries, but drowning in debt, good incomes, but no peace, because money amplifies behavior. If your habits are undisciplined, more money makes the damage faster. If your mindset is weak, more money exposes it. That's why financial education matters more than income. Let's be clear about something. Schools do not teach money mindset, budgeting tips, wealth building, investing basics, financial freedom. Not because money is evil, but because money is misunderstood. And when something is misunderstood, people fear it. So instead of teaching us how money works, we were taught to avoid mistakes, to play it safe, to stay comfortable. But comfort never creates prosperity. This is where a mindset shift becomes necessary. A poverty mindset says, I just need more money. A wealth mindset asks, how do I manage what I already have? A poverty mindset spends first. A wealth mindset plans first. A poverty mindset reacts. A wealth mindset prepares. This is not about being rich. This is about being intentional. Here's a powerful truth most people never hear. You don't rise to the level of your income. You fall to the level of your money habits. That's why money management is the real divider between poverty and prosperity. Until you learn how to manage money, you will always feel behind. You will always feel stressed. You will always feel dependent. But once you gain control, everything changes. Control creates confidence. Confidence creates clarity. Clarity creates progress. This is why personal development is inseparable from personal finance. You cannot separate who you are from how you spend, what you believe, from how you save, how you think, from how you invest. Wealth is a reflection of internal order. Chaos inside creates chaos in finances. Discipline inside creates wealth outside. If this feels uncomfortable, that's a good sign. Because growth always starts with awareness. And awareness is the first step out of poverty thinking. Now that you understand why income alone is not the solution, it's time to talk about the mindset difference between those who stay stuck and those who build wealth. At this point, something important needs to happen: a separation. Because there are 2 ways people think about money, and the difference between them determines almost everything. Not intelligence, not talent, not luck. Thinking. There is poverty thinking, and there is wealth thinking. And most people switch between the two without realizing it. Poverty thinking is reactive. It reacts to bills, it reacts to emergencies, it reacts to pressure. It says, I'll save later. I'll invest when I earn more. I'll think about the future after today. Wealth thinking is intentional. It plans before pressure arrives. It prepares before emergencies happen. It thinks long before money is needed. That is why wealthy people often look calm, even when things are uncertain. Because they are not guessing, they are planning. Poverty thinking focuses on today only. How do I survive this month? How do I pay this bill? How do I get through this week? Wealth thinking looks beyond survival. How do I build stability? How do I create options? How do I design a future I don't want to escape from? This is not about being rich. This is about thinking beyond the present moment. Here's something powerful. Poverty thinking asks, how much does this cost? Wealth thinking asks, what does this cost me long term? Poverty thinking spends first and hopes there's something left. Wealth thinking saves and plans first, then decides what can be spent. This is why two people can earn the same income and end up in completely different financial positions. Now listen closely to this. A millionaire mindset is not obsessed with money. It is obsessed with systems, discipline, long-term thinking. Control. Wealthy people don't think in paychecks. They think in cash flow. They don't think in expenses alone. They think in assets versus liabilities. They don't ask, how much do I make? They ask, how much do I keep? That question alone changes everything. This is where personal development becomes unavoidable, because your financial life is a mirror. If your finances feel chaotic, it usually means decisions are chaotic. If your finances feel unstable, it usually means habits are unstable. Money exposes patterns, and the moment you become aware of those patterns, you gain power. Here's a hard truth most people resist. You don't accidentally build wealth. You don't stumble into financial freedom. Wealth is built deliberately, and that starts with a mindset shift. A shift from emotion to logic, impulse to intention, reaction to strategy. This is why motivation alone is not enough. You need understanding, you need structure, you need financial education. Let's talk about fear for a moment. Poverty thinking avoids money conversations, avoids numbers, avoids looking closely, because fear grows in avoidance. Wealth thinking does the opposite. It studies money. It tracks money. It reviews numbers regularly. Not because it loves math, but because clarity creates confidence. And confidence is freedom. This is why people who master money management walk differently. They don't panic when expenses come. They don't fear unexpected bills. They don't feel trapped by income. Because they have a plan. And a plan removes fear. Right now, you may be realizing something important. That where you are financially is not a life sentence. It is feedback. Feedback about habits. Feedback about thinking. Feedback about education. And feedback can be changed. Now that you understand the difference between poverty thinking and wealth thinking, it's time to talk about the foundation that turns wealth thinking into real results. Because mindset alone is not enough. You need a system. And that system starts with money management. Now let's talk about the part most people want to skip. Money management. Not investing, not side hustles, not business ideas. Money management. Because here's the truth most people don't want to hear. You cannot grow what you cannot control. If money is leaving your hands faster than you understand it, then more money will only leave faster. That's why money management is the foundation of wealth building. Most people think budgeting is punishment. They imagine restriction. They imagine stress. They imagine saying no all the time. But that is not what budgeting really is. Budgeting is clarity. It is knowing what comes in, what goes out, and where your money is actually going. When you don't know where your money is going, you will always feel anxious. Anxiety comes from uncertainty. Money management removes uncertainty. Here's something important to understand. Wealthy people are not careless with money. They are intentional. They do not guess. They do not hope. They do not assume. They plan. This is why financial planning is so powerful. Planning does not mean predicting the future perfectly. It means preparing for it realistically. Let's break money management down simply. There are 3 stages. Stage 1, awareness. This is where most people stop. Awareness means tracking spending. Knowing your numbers, looking honestly at your habits. Not judging yourself, not feeling guilty, just seeing reality clearly, because you cannot change what you refuse to see. Stage 2. Control does not mean perfection. It means intention. It means deciding in advance what you will spend, what you will save, what you will invest. This is where budgeting tips actually matter. A budget is simply a decision made ahead of time. And decisions made calmly are always better than decisions made under pressure. Stage 3. Direction. Direction is where wealth begins. Direction means your money has a job, saving has a purpose, spending has limits, investing has a plan. Money without direction disappears. Money with direction multiplies. This is why people who master money management feel different. They sleep better. They think clearer. They panic less. Because money is no longer a mystery. It is a tool. Now let's talk about something subtle but powerful. Poverty thinking avoids structure. It says, I don't like budgets. I don't want to feel restricted. I'll figure it out later. Wealth thinking embraces structure because structure creates freedom. Think about it. Traffic lights are structure, but without them, there is chaos. Money works the same way. Here's another truth. Money management is not about how much you earn. It's about how well you manage what you already have. This is why someone earning less, but managing well, often outpaces someone earning more, but managing poorly. That's not luck. That's discipline. This is where financial literacy becomes real. Financial literacy is not knowing fancy terms. It's knowing when to spend, when to save, when to wait. It's understanding that every dollar you spend is a vote for the future you want, and every dollar you waste is a future option you gave away. Let this sink in. Money management is self-respect. It is saying, my future matters. My peace matters. My freedom matters. And when you respect your money, money begins to respect you back. But money management alone is not the destination. It is the foundation. Once control is established, once habits are aligned, it's time to move from protecting money to growing money. And that's where financial education takes on a new role. Now let's talk about why learning how money grows is what separates savers from builders. Once money management is in place, once control replaces chaos, a new question naturally appears. How do I make my money grow? This is where many people hesitate, because investing feels intimidating, complicated, risky. But the truth is, investing is not advanced finance. It is basic financial literacy that was never taught, and avoiding investing is far riskier than learning it. Here's something important to understand. Saving money protects you, but investing money grows you. Saving keeps you safe today. Investing builds your future, and both are necessary. But here's where poverty thinking gets stuck. It believes, I'll invest when I have a lot of money. Wealth thinking understands. You build money by investing consistently. You don't wait until you're wealthy to invest. You invest to become wealthy. Let's simplify this. Money has two possible states. It can be idle or working. Idle money slowly loses value to inflation. Working money grows through time and consistency. That's it. No mystery, no magic. Just understanding how money behaves. This is why financial education matters so deeply. When you understand money, fear decreases, confidence increases. Patience replaces urgency. Wealth is not built by rushing. It's built by staying invested long enough for time to do its work. Now let's talk about investing basics, without the noise. You don't need to know everything. You need to understand a few core ideas. First, time matters more than timing. Most people try to wait for the right moment. Wealthy thinkers know the best time to start was yesterday. The second best time is now. Consistency beats perfection. Second, compounding is quiet, but powerful. Compounding is money earning money. That then earns more money. At first it feels slow, almost invisible, but over time, it becomes unstoppable. This is why wealth is built over years, not months. Third, risk decreases with education. Risk does not come from investing. It comes from ignorance. When you don't understand where your money is going, that's risk. When you invest blindly, that's risk. But when you learn, diversify, and stay patient, risk becomes manageable. This is why wealthy people study money continuously. Now let's clear up a major misunderstanding. Investing is not gambling. Gambling depends on luck. Investing depends on knowledge, discipline, and time. Gamblers hope. Investors plan. Gamblers chase excitement. Investors build stability. This difference alone separates poverty from prosperity. Here's a mindset shift that changes everything. Wealthy thinkers don't ask, "How fast can I make money?" They ask, "How long can I stay consistent?" Because consistency compounds, and compounding creates freedom. This is where wealth creation becomes realistic. Not dramatic, not flashy, just steady progress. The kind that reduces stress, creates options, builds confidence, and slowly, quietly, changes your entire financial life. Let this sink in. Financial freedom is not a finish line. It is a process of learning, planning, and allowing time to work in your favor. And once your money starts working for you, you no longer feel trapped by income alone. But there's another level to this journey, because investing is powerful. But it's not the only way wealth is built. There is another mindset shift that accelerates everything. And that is learning to think like an owner, not just an earner. Now let's talk about entrepreneurship and systems thinking, and how they expand your financial future beyond a paycheck. Up to this point, we've talked about mindset, money management, financial education, and investing basics. Now we arrive at a powerful realization. Income alone has limits. No matter how skilled you are, no matter how hard you work, there are only so many hours in a day. This is where entrepreneurship changes the conversation. Not because everyone needs to start a business, but because entrepreneurship teaches a different way of thinking about money. Employees think in time. How much do I earn per hour? How many hours did I work? Entrepreneurs think in value. How many people does this help? How does this scale? How does this continue working without me? This shift from time to systems is one of the biggest steps from poverty thinking to prosperity. Here's an important truth. Entrepreneurship is not about quitting your job. It's about owning outcomes. It's about learning to build something that solves a problem, creates value, generates income repeatedly. This is why wealthy people love systems. Systems work while you rest. Systems reduce dependence on constant effort. And systems create leverage. Now let's remove a common fear. Entrepreneurship does not mean huge risk, fancy offices, massive startups. Most wealth-building businesses start small. Skills become services, knowledge becomes products, solutions become systems. The wealthy mindset looks for, how can this earn again? Not just, how much does this pay once? This is why entrepreneurship and personal finance are deeply connected. When you think like an owner, you manage money better. You plan longer term, you think strategically. Because when you own something, your decisions become more intentional. Ownership creates responsibility. Responsibility creates discipline. Discipline creates wealth. Let's talk about something subtle. Poverty thinking says, I just need more income. Wealth thinking asks, how many streams does this create? Multiple income streams are not about greed, they are about stability. If one stream slows, others continue flowing. This reduces fear, reduces pressure, and increases confidence. Now here's the key lesson. Entrepreneurship accelerates wealth building when combined with money management, financial education, investing discipline. Without those foundations, entrepreneurship becomes chaos. With them, it becomes powerful. This is why mindset always comes first. You'll notice something interesting about wealthy thinkers. They are patient, but decisive. They move slowly when learning, and confidently when acting. They don't rush into opportunities. They prepare for them, and preparation creates opportunity. Let this sink in. Financial freedom is not about doing everything yourself. It's about building things that continue without constant effort. That could be a business, an investment portfolio, a skill-based system, a scalable idea. The form matters less than the principle. Ownership beats dependency. Now here's the most important part. You don't need to do everything at once. Wealth is not built by overload. It's built by alignment. When your mindset is aligned, your money is managed, your education is growing, and your systems are forming. Progress becomes inevitable. But none of this works without one final piece: daily habits. Because wealth is not built in big moments. It is built in small decisions repeated consistently. Now let's talk about the daily wealth habits that quietly transform ordinary lives into financially free ones. At this stage, something important must be understood. Wealth is not built in dramatic moments. It's not built when motivation is high. It's not built when everything feels perfect. It's not built by one big decision. Wealth is built quietly, through daily habits, small actions, repeated consistently, over time. This is where most people fail, not because they don't know what to do, but because they underestimate the power of consistency. Poverty thinking looks for breakthroughs. One big opportunity, one lucky moment, one fast win. Wealth thinking focuses on routines. What do I do every day? What do I repeat even when I don't feel like it? What habits am I reinforcing? Because habits compound, just like money does. Let's simplify this. There are 3 daily habits that quietly separate those who build wealth from those who stay stuck. Habit 1. Daily financial awareness. Wealthy people stay aware. They don't obsess, but they don't avoid. They know what they spent, what they saved, what moved closer to their goals. 5 minutes of awareness a day prevents years of regret. Avoidance is expensive. Awareness is free. Habit 2. Continuous financial education. Wealthy people never stop learning about money. They don't rely on what they learned years ago. They adapt, a few minutes a day. Reading, listening, learning. This keeps their money mindset sharp. Financial education protects you from bad decisions, even when income increases. Habit 3. One intentional action. Every day, one small action. It could be reviewing a budget, saving a small amount, learning an investing concept, improving a skill, building a system. Progress does not need to be dramatic. It needs to be consistent. Here's something powerful. Most people overestimate what they can do in a month and underestimate what they can do in 5 years. Daily habits remove pressure. You don't need to fix everything today. You just need to move in the right direction. This is why financial freedom feels unreachable to many people. They imagine it requires massive sacrifice, extreme effort, perfect discipline. But in reality, It requires alignment. When your habits align with your goals, results follow naturally. Now let's talk about discipline for a moment. Discipline is not punishment. Discipline is choosing what you want most over what you want now. Wealthy people are not more motivated than others. They are more disciplined. And discipline is a skill built through repetition. Here's a mindset shift that changes everything. You don't need to feel ready to start. You need to start to feel ready. Action creates clarity, and clarity creates confidence. If you're listening to this and thinking, I should have started earlier, let that go. The past does not control your future. Your habits do. The moment you change your daily behavior, you change your financial direction. Now there's one final piece we need to bring everything together. Because mindset, money management, investing, entrepreneurship, and habits all lead to one outcome: a life of choice, a life of peace, a life of freedom. Let's bring this journey to a close and talk about what moving from poverty to prosperity really means. At this point, something important should feel different. Not excitement, not hype, clarity. Because moving from poverty to prosperity is not about becoming someone else. It's about becoming more intentional with who you already are. Poverty is not just a lack of money. It is a lack of control, a lack of direction, a lack of understanding. Prosperity is not about excess. It is about stability, peace of mind, choice. It's waking up without constant financial stress. It's making decisions without fear. It's knowing your future is not fragile. Let's reframe something. Financial freedom does not mean never working again. It means working by choice, not desperation. Spending intentionally, not emotionally. Planning confidently, not hoping blindly. It means money no longer controls your mood, your confidence, or your decisions. Think back to where this video started. The frustration, the confusion, the feeling of effort without progress. That feeling doesn't mean you failed. It means you were missing education, structure, and mindset, and those can be learned. You've now seen the full picture. You've seen that mindset shapes behavior, behavior shapes habits, habits shape results. You've learned that money management creates control, financial education creates confidence, investing creates growth, entrepreneurship creates leverage, daily habits create momentum. Nothing here required luck, nothing required privilege, nothing required perfection, only intention. Here's a powerful truth. Most people are one mindset shift away from a completely different financial life. Not because it's easy, but because clarity simplifies everything. Once you understand how money works, you stop fearing it. Once you manage money intentionally, you stop chasing it. Once you build systems and habits, you stop depending on hope. Now let me speak directly to you. You don't need to do everything at once. You don't need to be perfect. You don't need to compare your beginning to someone else's middle. You only need to start where you are, with what you have, and take the next intentional step. From this moment forward, you have a choice. You can continue reacting to money, or you can start directing it. You can stay busy, or you can start building. You can keep repeating old habits, or you can create new ones. Prosperity is not an event. It is a direction, and direction is a decision. If this video helped you see money differently, if it gave you clarity instead of confusion, if it helped you believe that a better financial future is possible, then take one small action today. Review your spending. Learn one financial concept. Plan one step forward. Small actions compound. just like money does. And remember this, you are not behind. You are not late. You are not incapable. You are simply becoming educated. And once education meets discipline, prosperity becomes inevitable. Now there's one final piece we need to bring everything together. Because mindset, money management, investing, entrepreneurship, and habits all lead to one outcome: a life of choice, a life of peace, a life of freedom. Let's bring this journey to a close and talk about what moving from poverty to prosperity really means. At this point, something important should feel different. Not excitement, not hype, clarity. Because moving from poverty to prosperity is not about becoming someone else. It's about becoming more intentional with who you already are. Poverty is not just a lack of money, it is a lack of control, a lack of direction, a lack of understanding. Prosperity is not about excess, it is about stability, peace of mind, choice. It's waking up without constant financial stress. It's making decisions without fear. It's knowing your future is not fragile. Let's reframe something. Financial freedom does not mean never working again. It means working by choice, not desperation. Spending intentionally, not emotionally. Planning confidently, not hoping blindly. It means money no longer controls your mood, your confidence, or your decisions. Think back to where this video started. The frustration, the confusion, the feeling of effort without progress. That feeling doesn't mean you failed. It means you were missing education, structure, and mindset, and those can be learned. You've now seen the full picture. You've seen that mindset shapes behavior, behavior shapes habits, habits shape results. You've learned that money management creates control, financial education creates confidence, investing creates growth, entrepreneurship creates leverage, daily habits create momentum. Nothing here required luck, nothing required privilege, nothing required perfection, only intention. Here's a powerful truth. Most people are one mindset shift away from a completely different financial life. Not because it's easy, but because clarity simplifies everything. Once you understand how money works, you stop fearing it. Once you manage money intentionally, you stop chasing it. Once you build systems and habits, you stop depending on hope. Now let me speak directly to you. You don't need to do everything at once. You don't need to be perfect. You don't need to compare your beginning to someone else's middle. You only need to start where you are, with what you have, and take the next intentional step. From this moment forward, you have a choice. You can continue reacting to money, or you can start directing it. You can stay busy, or you can start building. You can keep repeating old habits, or you can create new ones. Prosperity is not an event. It is a direction, and direction is a decision. If this video helped you see money differently, if it gave you clarity instead of confusion, if it helped you believe that a better financial future is possible, then take one small action today. Review your spending. Learn one financial concept. Plan one step forward. Small actions compound, just like money does. And remember this, you are not behind. You are not late. You are not incapable. You are simply becoming educated. And once education meets discipline, prosperity becomes inevitable. This is not the end of your journey. It's the beginning of a new way of thinking, a new way of managing money, and a new relationship with your future. If this message resonated with you, if you want to keep learning how money really works, and if you're serious about building financial freedom step by step, then subscribe to this channel. Because here, we don't chase hype. We build understanding. We build discipline. and we build wealth that lasts. Your future is shaped by what you learn today. I'll see you in the next video.